So continuation of last night, I ended up sleeping at the ShopRite bench until about 5:30 this morning. Again, it was a very, very not good sleep. It's a very, like, every few minutes I'd wake up and I hear noises and I got a little bit of but the body aches sitting on a bench, even with I think I even put the sleeping bag down on it. Still was like really uncomfortable. So I woke up this morning, pain, and about 5:30 I woke up. Fell asleep around like 1, I think, 1:30. Still sleepy, so I walk over. I take the bike and I walk over to the new storage unit, which is the Simply Self Storage, is the Neptune. That's the place that the guy last week. This guy walked over and said, "You better not be sleeping here. You better not be. There's no loitering, all this stuff." And I find that he's not even an employee there. He actually lives above the thing. So I told the guy that, the manager, that, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he sleeps. He has a room above the unit." And I said, "Yeah, but he's allowed to like drive around and like harass people." He goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll talk to him. He won't do that again." I said, "All right, because if he does, comes up to me and harasses me again, I'm gonna call the police on him." Well, I get to the storage unit. It's allowed. I'm allowed in there between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. So I got there about 6:30, and I walk in. I put the stuff down, open the storage unit, my stuff in there, and I'm just kind of like sitting there. All of a sudden, I start getting really sleepy again as I put my head down. And I'm out. And this time, it's a safe place. It's a storage. It's not a gated place. I have to have a key. I figure the other guy's not gonna bother me anymore at this point. So I fall asleep. And then about like 9:30, the manager drives by and he goes, "Hey, you're not supposed to be sleeping in there." And I woke up. I'm saying, "I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry about sleeping here. I got Guillain-Barré syndrome, and it's and one of the side effects, one of the conditions, one of the things that I had to deal with, lingering conditions is that I get, if I get sleepy, I put my head down and I just fall asleep. It's kind of like narcolepsy where I just kind of fall out. I just fall asleep. That's why I don't like to sleep. That's why sometimes I do things to not fall asleep, because I don't like this feeling that I have to fall asleep and put my head down. But it was really heavy. And it just, I only got 4 hours sleep, and I just didn't have the energy, or the motivation to really, stay up. So I tell this to him, and he goes, "Yeah, I know, but you're not supposed to sleep in the storage unit. You're not supposed to be, hanging out here, and that's why that guy said that to you." Oh, okay. So now you're taking his side of it. Because if I catch you sleeping here again, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. In other words, he's going to throw me out if he catches me sleeping in the storage unit. So this is the thing. I can't sleep in a storage unit that I pay $200 a month for, right? I can't sleep in anywhere that's private property, okay? So far they haven't kicked me off that bench, but one day if a cop sees me or somebody sees me and calls the cops on me, they're gonna tell me I can't sleep on that bench. I can't sleep anywhere else. If I sleep in Temp City, I get robbed. Right? I can't afford anything else. I can't afford a hotel room every day. Hotel room at $80 to $100 a night. That's in 1 month. That's $3,000 a month in rent. I can't do that. I asked the guy here at the hotel I used to get to, is the cheapest around here. Do you have a monthly rental for the no. Now if you happen to be Section 8 and the government pays, part of it, and then you get to pay like a third of your Social Security, he'll take that. But as for me, just saying, can I give you like $1,100 and can I just get that room upstairs that I usually get? It's a nice room. It has 2 beds and a table and some windows. Can I at least rent that? He goes, "No, sorry, no, we don't do monthly rentals here." Okay. Meanwhile, somebody told me 6 months ago he rented that place for $11.50 to 2 guys that lived up there. So again, this is not lucky. This is what I'm facing every day. This is what most people that don't have connections and don't have contacts and don't have somebody that'll support them or help them This is what they are. They're faced with fucking, you can't sleep anywhere. I can't, and this is why I don't try to sleep. I mean, I try my best to stay awake, because what's the point of fucking going to sleep? Somebody's gonna kick me out. Somebody's gonna push me out. Somebody's gonna do something that's not gonna allow me to stay there. And a cop could easily give me a ticket or arrest me for sleeping on private property. I've done that a few times. I fell asleep on the Target parking lot, and in the morning I was woken up by police saying, "You have to leave. I'm sorry, you can't be here. The building property manager saw you sleeping here, and he doesn't want you here. He doesn't want bums sleeping on his property while people are going into the stores and shopping." Very unlike Manhattan. I mean, New York. There's so much homelessness in New York, and I remember being in Occupy Wall Street. A lot of those people that ended up going to Occupy Wall Street and living in that park and sleeping in that park, they were homeless, and I've seen them afterwards sleeping in front of convenience stores and all these shops in front of Manhattan. And the cops really don't bother unless they're causing problems. They don't really bother them. But New Jersey is a fucking is a police state, man. They don't want to see none of the riffraff of that really exists here. Go back into Tent City where there's a bunch of garbage and people are ripping you off. Go back there and take a chance of sleeping. So that's what I'm faced with. I mean, I don't know what else to do at this point. Every day is where am I going to sleep tonight? If I can get enough money to be able to sleep somewhere, I will. Indoors. If not, I take a risk anywhere I fall asleep of either getting robbed, getting beaten up, getting sprayed with freaking bug spray, or getting getting arrested. Fined, giving a ticket fine for sleeping on private property. I mean, this is what New Jersey is, man. I remember living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for about 8 years, and I had a house and I had a job back then, and I was making decent money, but still, even if I wanted to go sleep on the beach at night, I can go sleep on the beach at night. I can't sleep on the beach here at night in Jersey. In Jersey, I mean, either the police sees you, they'll kick you out and give you a ticket. And then there's people that hang out by the Asbury Boardwalk that if you fall into deep sleep, they'll come and rob you again. Because it's dark and it's nobody around and there's no cops around, and you're in a deep sleep, and they'll just fucking take shit from you. That's what I'm faced with, man. It sucks. It sucks. I can't, like I said, I went to social services, and they won't provide me any kind of housing other than fucking, give me a list of crack motels rooming houses in Asbury that you gotta worry about getting robbed again. So that's what I'm facing right now. I'm not sure really what to do. Every day, that's why I can't plan anything out in too much in advance. It's a wild thing, and I went through this thing where 56, 57, 58, those are the 3 years. That's 11, 12, and 13. 11 year, 12 year, and 13 year. And I mentioned this a while back, and this is what I was facing. I've been facing. 56 is when I started losing everything I had, and it continued on to 57, which is what I am now. So what I was told by my spirit guides is that the age of 56, 11, 12, and 13, 11th year, which is 56, is going to be a year of purging. Everything that you loved will be ripped away from you. Everything that you held dear and you held as a support system will be taken away and stripped away, and you'll be left with nothing. And that's what happened to me in my 56th year. That was 2 years ago. In my 57th year, everything that happened to me in the 56th year will continue happening, but then you're going to start understanding more about what it is to have nothing, and you're going to understand more of what it is to be homeless and to be all these things that you've ignored so much when you had all these things, because these things were being ripped away from me because I had them for so long, and I didn't really I kind of I have it, so what? But and I found myself maybe being a little bit more alive. I'm working as I'm a working musician now. I've always wanted to be a working musician that was able to afford living in a house and living in a thing and not being in the street poor, and that's kind of what I wanted, and that was all ripped away from me. My 56th year, but from the 57 year, which is right now, which is where I am right now, which is my the 12th year. Because 5.6 is 11, 5.7 is 12, 5.8 13. So in the 11th year, So the 12th year, that's when you start continue losing things, but then you start understanding why you're losing things. You start understanding more of what it is to be on this side. Because again, karma is a very interesting thing. Karma is not just instant karma. What goes out comes back. That's a general thing. And that's more the law of attraction. What karma is that each lifetime you have to understand both sides of something. Once you understand both sides of something, then all of a sudden you remove karma. If you know what it is to shoot somebody, if you shoot somebody. And then the next lifetime, and you don't realize that shooting is wrong and murdering is wrong, the next lifetime you're going to get shot. And vice versa, it goes back and forth, until you understand both sides of it, that it's wrong to shoot somebody, and you understand the other side too, the reason that the person shoots somebody because they never learned, that you are them, and they are you, and when you shoot somebody. So the understanding of that removes karma, that piece of karma, and then it allows you to ascend. Now I understand every side of it right now, but I'm in human form again because I ascended out of here a long time ago. But I'm in human form again to try to help humanity. But helping humanity is like helping a fucking a vicious dog that is trained to fucking kill in a ring. A fucking fighting dog that's trying to kill. To teach them that it's not right to kill. You just can't do it. Humans are vicious dogs. Humans are evil. There's something about the human being that is intrinsically evil. I've learned this. I've learned this coming back. I've learned this in this human form again. That there's something within the body, and then that evilness was created by money. Created by the fact that we're taught to profit from each other. We're taught to compete with each other. We're taught to rip each other apart, just to be able to have more. That survival of the fittest thing. Which still shouldn't happen because our brains are big enough to understand, and our minds are able to understand that there is no survival of the fittest among human beings. It's working together to create a human organism, an entire human organism throughout this world, the planet, that helps each other and works with each other, just like the body and the cells of the body work with each other. So 57 years that, and the 58th year is when supposedly, and I'm going to start reaching that. I'm going to reach that in what's that? Today's the 8th, so in 10 days. It was my birthday. It's September 18th, and I'm going to reach that level of everything that's hope. Supposedly, this is what my story guys told me. I mean, everything else they told me about this has been coming true. So I'm hoping this is my 58th year. It's going to be everything that you learned between the 56 and 57 years is going to be put into practice. So all this knowledge that you gained from being on both sides will then come together, and you'll learn how to create a new path and a new place for you to go, to be able to then continue on your purpose, and the purpose that I'm here, which is trying to save humanity from its own annihilation, from its own destruction. I mean, I'm one of many. I mean, there's a lot of star seeds out there, and there's a lot of ascended souls that have come into this dimension and were born into the dimension. The videos that I posted and the music that I did and a lot of things that I've done, especially in the last 2 years, is really meant to activate more star seeds. So there's more of us out there trying to shift this human organism into this one way ticket to hell. Or one-way ticket into a brick wall, try to shift them away and save them from their own annihilation. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 2 years. And lack of understanding and help from my family, from my girlfriend, from anybody else around me that I considered friends. None of them understand. Not one person, maybe one or two understand me, and the way if they are, then they do understand me. They're usually just star seeds that have maybe because me talking to them have activated them and allowed them to then realize that okay, well, what you're doing is important. I understand that. Let me just keep that going. But yeah, I mean, so the 58th year, which is the year 13, it's 11, 12, and 13, 56, 57, 58. Those years are very important. In the acquiring of such knowledge, the understanding what it is to be both sides, understanding what this human organism is doing, what this human collective consciousess is being dumped on, is being human organism is being pointed into and pulled into. understanding that to be able to figure out a way to steer them into another direction. And that's hopefully my 58th year, which is, my birthday is in 10 days. That's the starts of it, and then from now until my 59th year, which is next year, I have 1 year to then try to get all this stuff that I've learned, and all this all the stuff that I've learned down here into a practical working form that I'm able to activate enough star seeds, and we can all get together and change the course of humanity. Because the course of humanity is on a one-way, like I said, one-way ticket into a brick wall. You guys are, the way you're doing it now, this profit, this competition, this caste system of wealth, middle class, and poverty. All these things are going to cause your own annihilation. They're going to cause because the next big storm that happens, and as Mother Earth shifts, you're going to see a lot more of this stuff happening in the next year, a lot more. If in the next 2-3 years you don't get yourself straight and get yourself onto a path where there's two things that you have to do: take care of Mother Earth, and take care of every human being. And with that process of taking care of every human being comes the mass ascension of souls and no longer coming in, which then leaves room for new souls to come in and then learn. And then this is what this is. It's a learning. It's a 3D learning process for human souls. You're coming in here very young, and you're leaving with the knowledge, and it should be like 11, 12, 13 lifetimes, 14, maybe 100 at the most lifetimes within this civilization. You have souls here that have been here for thousands of years, that have lived thousands of lifetimes, that are still in poverty class because of the wealth class just does not teach them that. That is my goal and my hope for year 58, which is what I'm coming into now. And it is my hope that everything that I've been through for the last 2 years has gotten me to a level that I can then, in my 58th year, which starts in 10 days, can then bring about a salvation to this civilization. You always quote these messiahs, these Muhammad, Abraham, Jesus, and then even the ones that really weren't considered messiahs, but were considered very smart people, like Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. All these people, Gandhi, all these people were sending souls coming down to try to teach you something, and what did you do? You end up killing all of them. Every single one of them were somewhere, one way or another, like murdered or so slaughtered by your greed, by your lack of understanding what they were meant to do. You want them to come and save you and bring you, make you all of a sudden click their fingers and bring you heaven on earth. That's not what it happens. That's not how it happens. Jesus wasn't here to help you and dissolve you of your sins so you can continue sinning for the rest of, until the next time he comes around, and he'll abolish your sins, and then you can continue sinning later on. And that's not the purpose they were saying. It was purpose to try to make you understand the concept that greed, choosing greed over spirituality, choosing money, choosing these things that were meant to destroy the human consciousness, to destroy the human organism that is every human being is part of. Destroy that. It is the overcoming and your own overcoming. Again, I want to say that there is no Antichrist. Obama wasn't the Antichrist. There is no Antichrist. The Antichrist is money. Money is the thing that is dividing you, is killing you, is murdering you, is causing you to throw you other human beings. Imagine if I threw my foot in a cage because it decided to walk away by itself and steal from my other foot. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're taking human beings and you're sticking them in the cages and not understand that money is what's causing that. It's that understanding that then helps you to then change the course of the civilization. So then there is, in theory, there is no Antichrist. Money is the Antichrist, and there is no Messiah coming to save you. That Messiah is you. The Messiah is the human consciousness, the human being that then is then put into a place where they then have to make the right choice to be able to continue. So the civilization could last another 1, 2, 300,000 years, and evolve to a place where we're all, there is a heaven on earth, and we're all. But the human being has to do it. You have to collectively come together and decide that to rid yourself of money and to rid yourself of this corporate greed and this need for profit and competition in products and everything you do. All this stuff needs to be wiped away and going back to a tribal existence where you take care of two things. That's all. There's two commandments. That's it. Taking care of Mother Earth that allows you to live on her. Number one priority, taking care of this planet. Number one, which is it's always second, third, fourth to the prophet that the all tycoons and all this other billionaire class put as a priority. Take care of your Mother Earth, and number two, the second priority is taking care of, because if you can't take care of Mother Earth, you sure is not going to be able to take care of each other. And then number two is just taking care of each other as human beings, and stop profiting and competing with each other and profiting off each other and creating this level of for-profit systems that just rip away your ability to take care of Mother Earth. Those are the two things, man. Those are the two commandments. Those are the two things that need to be addressed and need to be focused on as priority number 1 and 2 within this existence for every human being. And that's never going to be taught by your schools or your education system or your television or your corporate controlled media or everything else that's related to really supporting this caste system where there's these greedy billionaires that don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit. They're not even human. Their souls are been ripped away from them, and they got parasites in them that are feeding through them. That are forcing them to do what they're doing to other human beings, creating poverty, creating a middle class, creating a caste system, letting a caste system hold them up in this great place where they control everyone. Those are the things that need to be addressed and looked at. And if they're not, then the civilization is going to end just like every civilization before it. It's going to perish, and and our star seeds that were sent down here, we're just going to go back to our dimension and our higher level of 5D reality, and wait for the Creator, God, whatever you want to call it, all that is, to create another civilization, to try it again. Like if you're a program and you keep on making a program and it keeps on failing, after a while you just either you give up on it or you just you keep on trying until you get it right. And that's what your Creator keeps on doing. He's creating civilizations that she's looking for a way for that the human organism, the human consciousness will evolve to a point quickly enough to be able to either wipe away that virus that is money and greed and competition, or overcome it to a point where it, even though it's there, then just remove it and go back to that tribal living. So, and to get to that focus on, again, two things. Number one, take care of your Mother Earth, living organism that allows you to live on it. Number two, take care of each human being, and not allowing us to be this billionaire class to really just this 1%, as we call them, occupy, to take care of to basically lead you into hell, which is what they're doing. They're leading you right into hell, and eventually you'll be wiped off, and each soul will go back down to the pool of creation and wait for Creator to create another civilization for the souls to come in and learn from and grow from. It's like you're stuck in 5th grade, and after a while there's so many people in 5th grade and they're just not learning, they're not getting it. You're gonna have to bump them all back down to kindergarten, 1st grade, and let them try again. Everybody's gonna go left back, but not left back a year, because we've already been left back. You've already been left back many times in that 5th grade. Bring them back down to and try another way of teaching them. And this is another way we try to. God has asked us to try to do something better, and teach you how to do it a better way. Every civilization that I've been through, that I've done this with, has allowed me to do this, to try different ways, and this is the way that I'm trying it this time. This is the way that I'm talking. This is the way I'm trying to do it this time, to allow this human civilization to get past what they are and then evolve to a place where you no longer have to think about how to save, and no longer have to look up into the sky and waiting for that Messiah to come down and save you. Because there's no Messiah that's going to come down and save you. You are the Messiah. You, the human organism, have the choice to and have the ability to overcome the Antichrist, which is money. Good luck. Like I said, 10 days. I'm in my 58th year, and I'm really starting to feel close to it. That I'm clearing up a little bit of the things that I've learned, and it's a lot of it is making sense to me. Not to everybody else around me, because they're all pointing fingers and calling me fucking drug addict and calling me all these different names and calling me these different things that I am not. So, but that's part of it. That's the crucifixion, that Christ had to go through. Except you actually murdered him and stuck him on a cross and bled him to death, and then handed him back to God and said, here you go, God, thank you so much. I heard that he's gonna take away all our sins, and now we're gonna be all better now, and we're gonna create the heaven on earth. Well, you didn't do it in 10,000 years. You're gonna do it. And he's not coming back. I guarantee you. that soul, that ascended master has said enough of you. I mean, what are you gonna think? Oh yeah, they crucified me the first night. I'm gonna go back and do it again? No, he's not. No. Good luck. Namaste. Namaste.